Remember that thing that you actually wanted to do but now you're actually avoiding it? Yeah, people with ADHD sometimes don't follow through. Not because we don't care, but you are simply unable to start. There's actually a gap between deciding and doing. And for most people, motivation fills that gap. You can think of it like a bridge, a motivation bridge. It's built with thoughts like this will help my future. My family will be proud. I told people I will do it. For most people, the bridge doesn't need to be perfect. Even with small gaps, they push it through with discipline. They may not feel like doing it, but they still get it done. But ADHD changes this. For us, the bridge isn't just cracked. Sometimes half of it is missing. The task can matter a lot. You can actually care about it, but that importance still doesn't create enough motivation in our ADHD brains. So you stand there staring at the gap. You want to move, you try to move, but you just can't. From the outside, people don't see this. They see the same task and don't understand. They think, why not just do it? They can cross their bridge, so why can't you? It's easy to assume that you are lazy, that you don't care, but that's not true. ADHD causes severe executive dysfunction that can feel frustrating and sometimes even painful. But nothing is wrong with you. It's just that the bridge has changed. So the real question is, how do you rebuild it? How do you add those missing pieces? First, you need to understand that ADHD motivation works differently. Long repetitive tasks don't create enough motivation. But there are three things which actually do create motivation in ADHD brain. They are urgency, novelty and interest. Basically anything that feels stimulating or engaging. That's why things like movement or excitement helps. Our ADHD brain isn't being difficult, it just needs more activation. Some tasks already have this, like video games. They are fast, engaging and rewarding. But unfortunately most real life tasks do not have that, so we have to add it manually. First, let us start with urgency. A lot of ADHD brains create urgency through delay. You may avoid something for days, but just right before the deadline, you get hyper focused on it. Suddenly now the bridge appears, now you can move, but that's stressful and not reliable. So instead you need to create urgency intentionally. Secondly, you can also use accountability. Simply break big tasks into smaller deadlines, then check in with someone, let others expect progress. Like for example, if you need to clean, invite someone over. Knowing someone is coming soon can push you to act. Next, you can also try to make things feel new. ADHD brains love novelty. We always like to do new things. That's why doing the same thing again and again may kill motivation. But small changes may help. You can change your environment or you can try a different method. You don't have to force consistency in a rigid way. Sometimes just stepping away makes it feel new. You can also turn tasks into small challenges. Even making it playful can help. The goal isn't perfection, it's about engagement that makes it interesting to you. ADHD brains are also driven by interest. Some things can feel very interesting while others can feel impossible. And it's all depends on how interested we are in those tasks. So before starting, you need to build some connection. Ask yourself, what's interesting here? How I can make this more engaging? Sometimes you can reframe it, sometimes you can personalize it. And if the task itself is boring, then pair it with something you enjoy. At the end of the day, you do not need a perfect motivation bridge. You just need to keep crossing smaller gaps. And lastly, motivation is something I struggled with for a long time. So I completely stopped relying on motivation and started figuring out what actually works. Over time, I started noticing patterns, small things that help me start doing an actions even when I don't feel like it, even when the bridge was completely broken. And that's how slowly I developed my own system. My system consists of my own self-discovered ADHD coping techniques that help me to bypass executive dysfunction and trigger my hyperfocus whenever I want. Using these techniques now, I don't even need to rely on motivation, urgency or novelty, as I can simply start doing any tasks I want and whenever I want. I have compiled all my special coping techniques in my ADHD solver guide. These techniques will help you remove dependence on any medicines, need for motivation or urgency. You can just use them daily and get productive right away. Check out the guide in description.